Hola clase, during this video I'm going to tell you all the information you need to know to complete our final project for 8th grade Spanish. So for this project we are not really going to use any new words, we're just going to be applying all the words we've learned throughout the whole year into a mini book. And we are going to spend about 3 days or 2.5 days of class time working on it. This is going to be an individual assessment. That means you will not be collaborating or talking with friends or using Google Translate or any other online translator. The only words you need for this project are on your vocab sheets, and so you won't need anything. If you do have any questions about specific words, like single words, I can help you out. I can write them on the whiteboard or help you out, but please don't use online translator or friends. There will be 6 pages of your book, or 6 sections of your book, and each one will include one of these titles: yo, tú, él, ella, nosotros, ellos, or for nosotros it could be nosotras, or ellos or ellas. Each page will have both text and pictures that are colored. Each page must picture a different place and tell 3 logical things that a person does there. As an example, en el café yo como, bebo y hablo, which means at the cafe I eat, drink, and talk. So you're going to choose a place for each of your subjects, or for each page. Choose a place and choose 3 things that that person would do there. The subject of this sentence would be yo, not only because it says yo in the sentence, but also because my verbs are conjugated to match the subject yo. Each ends in O. That tells me I'm talking about myself, or the subject here is I, or yo. In addition to a place and 3 logical things, you must also include more vocabulary. To get 100%, you're going to need 18 extra uses of vocabulary throughout your book. To get an A, you need 12 to 18, 6 to 11 would be a B, and 1 to 5 extra uses of vocabulary would be a C. Now we're going to look at the topics that we've covered so far this year in Spanish class. And essentially all words that we've learned this year are up for grabs for extra uses of vocabulary words. Here are some of the topics: los colores, adjetivos, tiempo, estaciones, familia, objetos de la clase, días, números, me gusta, no me gusta, ir a, más actividades, cognados directos, comida, música, deportes, etc. And what these mean: colors, adjectives, weather, seasons, family, classroom objects, days, numbers, I like and I don't like, I'm going or somebody is going to go to. More activities, direct cognates like food, music, and sports. So you can use any of these during for your book as extra uses of vocabulary. One thing to keep in mind, you have to use a variety of words. You can't use 8 colors and get credit for 8 extras. Before we go into an example, I just wanted to review quickly some key concepts that we're going to need for this book. The way you say I in Spanish is yo, you is tú, he is él, she is ella, you formal would be usted, we is nosotros or nosotras, depending on who we're talking about, and they is ellos or ellas, again, depending on who we're talking about. The way you say you all is ustedes. As a quick review of verb conjugation, again, verb conjugation is just a fancy way of saying changing the ending of the verb to match who we're talking about, so the subject of the sentence. So the word practicar means to practice, but if I wanted to match my subject, yo, in this case, I would have to change the ending. So practicar would change to practico, bailar to bailo, estudiar to estudio, caminar to camino, pescar, pesco, montar changes to monto, descansar changes to descanso. Those are all AR verbs, or verbs that ended with AR. If we're talking about an ER verb, beber would change to bebo, comer to como, leer to leo, and escribir, an IR verb, changes from escribir to escribo. For our subject 2, looks a little different. Practicas, bailas, estudias, caminas, pescas, montas, and descansas for our AR verbs. For our ER verbs, bebes, comes, leyes, and our IR verb escribes. Our next subject, the subjects LAN usted, all conjugate the same way, so practicar changes to practica, baila, estudia, camina, pesca, monta, descansa. Beber changes to bebe, comer changes to come, leer changes to lee, and escribir changes to escribe. Our next subject, nosotros or nosotras, practicar would change to practicamos, bailamos, estudiamos, caminamos, pescamos, montamos, descansamos. Over to ER verbs, we have bebemos, comemos, leemos, and escribimos. Last, we have eos, and ustedes all conjugate the same way. Practicar changes to practican, bailan, estudian, caminan, pescan, montan, descansan. ER verbs, beber changes to beben, comen, leen, and escriben. So you're going to need to conjugate 3 verbs on each page. Let's do an example together of what a page of your book will look like. So if our subject is yo, I'm going to want to con mi esposo, with my husband. So right now, in addition to my place, La Playa, I need a place. I need 3 activities that I do in that place. Nado, pesco, y bailo. Essentially, everything else is an extra use of vocabulary words. Me llamo would be an extra use of vocabulary words. Voy a would be an extra use of vocabulary. La salsa would be an extra use. Mi esposo would be an extra use. All these are in addition to what I absolutely need. So 1, 2, 3, 4 extras just on this page so far. What else could I add? I could talk about the weather. I could say, hace sol. It's sunny. I could say, hace calor. Another use of extra vocabulary words. I could tell you what season it is. I could say, es el verano. I could describe myself. We learned adjectives. I could describe myself. Maybe I would do that after I introduce myself. I could say, yo soy, or I could just start out with soy if I wanted to. Yo soy alta y simpática. I could say that. I am tall and nice. I'm describing myself. So this would be an extra use of vocabulary words. So what you're doing is you're taking a place, you're saying what you would do at that place, and adding more extra uses of vocabulary. Let's do another one. For this next example, we are going to use the subject L. And I can just keep it generic as L, or I can choose a person that I'm talking about. Let's go with this one. We're going to be talking about Will Smith. So I could say, Will Smith es un chico. I could describe him es guapo y alto. Next, I could choose a place and say 3 things that he does then. I could say, él va, he goes to. Where should we have him go? Let's have him go to the dance club. Él va a la discoteca. What does he do at the dance club? I could say Will Smith baila canta y habla. Who should he be talking to? Habla con amigos. Oops. Talks with friends. Okay? So right now I have using adjectives. I'm using adjectives to describe him. I have a place. I have 3 activities that he does there. I could also add some more details. I could say maybe what season it is. Es el invierno. It's winter. I could say what day of the week it is. Hoy es viernes. I'm just taking some basic information and extending it to add more detail, adding more of the words that we learned over the school year. So basically, we will have 2.5 work days to work on this book. If you finish before then, you can be bringing homework to work on during class. You can read a book, you can study, but you cannot talk with your neighbors during this time. In addition to that, I do have some examples you could be looking at. Just let me know if you want to see them. If you are not a great artist, you can feel free to, in your own time, not during Spanish class, you can look up pictures on the internet and print them off and bring them into class, and you can assemble it here. You can type your words if you don't feel like they will fit, or if you have messy handwriting, feel free to type them. Again, that must be done outside of Spanish class, and you can bring it in to collect it all and to put it in your book. Let me know if there are any questions.